this is our arrival. It's not cold, it's about 24 degrees, but it's just looking stormy and terrible. But the weather forecast is that it's going to be sunny and not terrible. Got to the airport, found the parking, no problems there at all. Went across to the Virgin desk to book our tickets, and they were so helpful. It was actually, they really did go above and beyond in trying to make sure that Amy was comfortable to get there. Big shout out to Dana, who organised wheelchairs, the lifts to get us up into the aircraft and down at Hamilton Island, and for the follow-on trip back for the same sort of thing. So yeah, look, a really big thanks. We found, in fact, over this entire trip, whether it be the airline people or the people at the ferry that took us from Hamilton to Daydream Island, or the staff on Daydream Island, they were all exceptional. And normally you find one or two that might be like that, but everyone was exceptional. The staff, particularly at Hamilton, did everything they could to try and make us comfortable within the constraints that they had at that, when we got there. But yeah, look, big shout out to all of the staff on all the trip that we did. Yeah, guys, well done. It was, you are a credit to the industry. You really are, all of you were. And obviously big shout out to the HR people that have interviewed and hired these people. Great job. Highlights about Daydream Island is the wildlife, which you'll see pictures there. There are bullaroos, there are curlews, the aquarium, which is within the complex, is quite spectacular. Quite a variety of rays, trevally, parrotfish, a whole range of different bits and pieces there. Really quite good. Again, as I said, the facility wasn't overly packed by any means, so I was able to go where I needed to do without crowds of people. Down at a place called Lovers Cove, which is a nice little beach area. Nice place for snorkeling. Unfortunately, the weather again wasn't the best, and it had stirred up, so visibility was quite poor. The other thing that needed to be noted down there was sort of not a lifeguard. There was a guy down there where you could hire snorkeling equipment, and he was reasonably vigilant, but again, there wasn't a great deal of people around, so snorkeling by yourself is probably not the best idea. Water temperature was fantastic. It was around about 24-25 degrees in the water, which was about the same temperature as it was outside the water. If you wanted to get a bit cooler than that, the pools, of which there are quite a number of pools area there, they were a little cooler, probably around about the 21, 22 degrees if that, so you could cool off from there. Again, plenty of lounges for soaking up what sun there was. Most of my comments are going to be in regards to the facilities themselves. Can't blame the organisation for weather and those sorts of things, but from our perspective, and my young bride and I are in two categories. My young bride has some difficulties with mobility, and so I'll make some comments with regards to Daydream Island and the challenges that presented for her. I'm still quite mobile, didn't really have any dramas at all. But at the end of the day, where people are going to accommodate people with, as they get older, potentially, or their capacity for long walks and those sorts of things diminish, they need to actually look at the organisation of the way resorts are built. Daydream Island has a great reputation for comfort, quality and those sorts of things, and they lived up to that across the board. But there are a couple of things that were missing from the reception to our room, which was a distance of about 150 metres. Now, for most people that's not much, but to put it in perspective, try hopping for 150 metres, see how you feel, and then remember that every time that you come to some stairs, you're going to have to try and hop up and down those or whatever, just to give the same sort of impact that it has on a person with walking difficulties. About 150 metres to the room. To get to the restaurants, we had to actually sort of circumnavigate the complex, and that distance was around about 400 metres from room to restaurants. So you might say, why didn't we get room service? Well, we would have if there was any available. So there's no room service available on Daydream Island. You might also say, well, okay, these sorts of organisations normally have wheelchairs. Daydream Island do have wheelchairs. They have two. And one quick mention with regards to the bathroom. The bathroom was big and fine, but to get in and out of the bath, there were no handles, nothing to aid, and there was no non-skid or non-slip mats that could be put in the bath to stop you slipping. Overall, it was an enjoyable week there. Good rest, good food, and as I said, exceptional staff in terms of their ability to help where they can, to answer any questions, and to make sure that all the guests were treated very, very well.